Continuing from the previous episode 2535. Ghost Realm, Li Soul Realm. This vast area, which was originally slightly gloomy and eerie, was now entangled with a monstrous pitch-black demonic energy, like drops of viscous filthy liquid, wrapping the countless territories of the entire Li Soul Realm. In the dark and dim world, there will be some terrifying breaths from time to time, and the waves of death will make people feel dizzy. But in the miserable state of Li Hanyu, there are still a few strange places that seem to be immune to this evil. At the top of a gloomy mountain outside the 5 courtyards of Li Soul Domain, there is a huge team of nearly 1,000 people stationed here. The 2 adults still haven't found any news about Xiao Yan. However, among the 5 major courtyards, there have been several powerful auras in the past few days, which are slowly awakening like a dormant and sleeping giant dragon. That kind of power is a lot of pressure for our army, you see. In the tent of the commander-in-chief of the 3 armies on the top of the mountain, there are constantly some scouts who are responsible for exploring information. What breath! The 2 adults in the tent heard the words and their eyes were locked. Something like an out-of-this-world taste. The scout spoke out the information he had discovered without a trace, and waited for the instructions of the 2 in front of him. The taste of the alien race? The strength of the extraterritorial powerhouses who occupy the 5 major courtyards should not be underestimated. Before the Lord Xiao has arrived in the Li Soul territory, it is not advisable to confront them head-on. We must retain our team with good combat power. Go back. Retreat to the edge of Li Soul territory. Quote. After the old man with bones and the cold-blooded general looked at each other, they spoke one after another, and each order was issued by them. Although they said that their strength and combat experience were not bad, they were still incapable of facing the army of the 7th evil god of the extraterritorial evil race. After all, the 7th evil ** is not only tyrannical in strength. These annoying guys are really afraid of us. However, at this time, it is not appropriate to have a conflict with them. It is better to gather people as soon as possible and go to the headquarters of Li Hanyu to support His Majesty the Evil God. With the retreat of the 1,000-strong elite team, the void of the 5 courtyards was slightly distorted, and a shadowy figure stepped into the sky at the same time, muttering to himself. If Xiao Yan or the high-level executives of the Li Hanyu Temple were here, they would definitely find that these guys are all the best among the 5 academies. However, the power fluctuations in their bodies now do not have any ghostly presence, and the evil fluctuations are clearly the smell of foreign evil races. Even between their eyebrows, there is a faint flower of soul imprint, blooming with endless evil power. This kind of fluctuation, I am afraid that the powerhouses in the 5 major courtyards are also caught in the soul control flower in the center of the ghost world, and become the walking dead outside the realm. It's just why the soul control flower in the center of the ghost world has become the only weapon for ruling the soul domain outside the realm. At this moment, a terrifying aura slowly rose from the 5 major courtyards, and even from the countless territories of Li Soul Domain. A figure with a ferocious complexion and a good strength, carrying a monstrous evil aura, turned out to be scrambling to move towards Li Soul Domain assembled and left. With such a large number of evil powerhouses, even if the countless powerhouses from the ghost world gather to attack, I am afraid they cannot easily resolve them. Infused with evil power, at this point, storm seems to have begun to twist the gears and start slowly. In addition, although the countless realms of Li Hanyu have been occupied or even controlled by the army led by the 7th evil god, there is still a pure land that is not disturbed. That is the headquarters of Li Soul territory, and it is also its core, the Sifeng Temple of Li Soul territory. Today's Sifeng Temple seems to have entered some kind of extremely serious alert, and the strong people living in it, whether it is identity or strength, all need to go through a lot of tests. The entire shrine is surrounded by a thin layer of green halo. No matter how turbulently the viscous demonic chi attacked, it seemed that when they touched the green halo, they would make bursts of puffing noises, and then turned into a white mist and disappeared. The mysterious arrangement on the green halo seems to have formed some kind of extremely complex pattern, and the green pattern is filled with an aura of arrogant life. The great formation formed by the green halo is powerful, but it also spreads with the erosion of those demonic energy. The entire formation seems to be slowly retreating. The Sifeng Temple in the Soul Realm will also be completely occupied. In the opposite center of the Sifeng Temple, there is a huge altar. The altar is engraved with countless gloomy patterns. It is like a gathering spirit formation, which slowly absorbs and gathers the energy of heaven and earth in the temple for use. Resist extraterritorial. Now there are no extra people waiting on the altar. It seems that there is only a petite and delicate girl left here. The corners of the mouth and the palms are constantly shaking, building some extremely terrifying power. On the girl, the long black hair fluttered slightly, and the hair fluttered in the wind. With the graceful behavior of the girl while walking, it looked extremely noble. A white dress perfectly complements her figure. The tail of the white dress gently steps on the ground, and bursts of green halos seem to bloom from a green rune in the palm of the girl's hand. Above the domain guard, that green rune is one of the core inscriptions of the battle formation master. Yuan Yan, how's the situation recently? In an instant, a fiery figure poured into the altar, and his bright eyes were cast towards the petite and exquisite girl in front of him. Sister Yunqi, the current situation does not seem optimistic. The seventh evil god has stopped attacking the Great Protector Array. With my strength, I can still support it for more than a month. But the seventh evil asterisk has been quiet for dozens of days, and I'm worried that he has other plans. On the girl's originally pure face, she could not see any happiness. Instead, her expression was extremely majestic, and her sharp eyes seemed to be able to see through the heart of any strong man. The strongest fighting formation master in Li Soul Domain, Yuan Yan. Although the latter is only the second-level reincarnation level strength, and this strength is achieved through the use of medicinal pills, inheritance and other forces, and has a lot of water, but it is beyond the talent and accomplishments of Do formation masters. No one can match it. After the seventh evil asterisk occupied the countless realms of Li Hun territory, he led the army to attack the Sifang temple. Just when the temple was in danger, Yunqi and Yuan Yan appeared. The ancient array of life, which is enough to compete with the quasi-sixth reincarnation level, has intercepted countless armies. Protected the last pure land for Li Hunyu. Sigh. This kind of thing is really too tricky. Besides, under the crown of Du Qifei and Lei, after the seventh evil asterisk attacked the temple, the figure disappeared. Yun Qidai's eyes stretched out, looking at the ancient formation of life on the altar, and Yuan Yan, who looked extremely tired, and couldn't help smiling bitterly. Latest URL. Note: if you see that the content of this chapter is the content of anti-theft error, the book is broken, etc., please log in right pointing arrow. Continuing from the previous episode 2536. In the altar of the temple, the two women were talking calmly. Many of them were careful thoughts among the girls, and there were also many secrets related to Li Soul Domain. Sister Yunqi, do you regret it? The next moment, Yuan Yan's small face tightened, but she stared at Yunqi in front of her with a serious face and asked. I should regret it, but if I don't try it, I'm afraid I will feel guilty for the rest of my life. After all, this is the homeland we live on. It's like the days when the family is broken and displaced. I don't want to try it. Being asked by Yuan Yan, Yunqi seemed very calm, smiled faintly, and blurted out. Regardless of whether there is that mysterious power in his body, he will stand up. Only to be a soul under the knife, not to be a slave to the subjugation of the country. This is the belief that every ghost world creature knows now. Your family members, as well as some young blood in Li Soul Domain, have been secretly transferred. Even if you fail in the end, there will be enough blood to remain. In this case, it is worthy of the last wishes of those seniors who have passed away. Well, Sister Yunqi, don't worry. I will accompany you. Yuan Yan is very powerful now. Even if the ancient formation is broken, I can drag many of them to be buried together. Speaking of which, I really don't know how Xiao Yan is doing now. At the beginning, he also had the talent of a Do formation master. Now I have grown into a Do formation master on my own. I don't know if I can learn from him. While the two women were talking on the altar, Yuan Yan's fat and tender cheeks were surging, and it turned out to be indescribably naughty and cute. It seems that there is nothing like the legend in the Li Soul Domain. The legendary powerhouse, Yuan Yan, the battle formation master who used his own strength to intercept the attacks of countless powerhouses outside the realm, was just as mischievous as a girl next door. I don't know either. But I have a hunch that he will come sooner or later. When Yunqi heard the name Xiao Yan, his body trembled slightly, and it seemed that an ancient voice had always been touched in his mind. Yuan Qi didn't know much about this. After all, Yuan Yan's current first-level reincarnation level peak strength, as well as the soul power of the quasi-immortal wandering realm, all rely on the guidance of the voice in her body. Similar to the past and present, the reincarnation, the mysterious and mysterious, Yuan Qi himself is a little hard to believe. But the power of that voice vaguely makes him feel that I am afraid that even the central world master of the ghost world cannot compare. Why are you so sure, Sister Yuan Qi? Do you like Xiao Yan? You little girl, don't talk nonsense. I don't know either. It seems that there is a faint voice in the back of my mind. It's like, I know Xiao Yan. Is previous life? Past and present? What a mysterious thing. The two girls looked at the ancient formation of life that sheltered this last pure land, a rare relaxing time. Bang! But the good times didn't last long, and it didn't take long for a rush of wind to rush out around the altar. Two adults, the big thing is bad. We have just discovered the traces of the Ley Lord and the Forging Domain Lord, but we were preempted by the powerhouses outside the domain. Now the seventh evil spirit is rushing towards where with a few elites. Once the two princes are completely discovered, I am afraid that the lives of the two princes are at stake. The sound of breaking the wind fell, and a dignified man walked out of the shadow. This was a Li Soul guard who was in charge of the intelligence of Li Soul domain, and his voice sounded sharp. Go! No, you have to stay here. With the strength of your battle formation master, you can resist the army outside the territory. Otherwise, once the Sifeng temple is invaded, this last piece of paradise will also be reduced to hell. At that time, the consequences will be unimaginable. Li Hunwei, summon the two masters of the four temples and several elites, and go with me. While speaking, Yuan Qi surging vigorously, his expression extremely solemn. Damn, the strength of the two palace masters is not enough to resist the seventh evil god. Seeing Yuan Qi leaving in a hurry, Yuan Yan stretched out her hand and pinched her face, as if all she could do now was to do her best to protect this last paradise. In any case, I will not let these bad guys go any further. Boom! Under the huge Li Soul domain, the dark void suddenly opened with a huge opening, and a majestic and huge team quietly poured in here. Good evil power. When I just came here, I felt the strength of Mu Yingying and Yuan Yan, and their faces were a little dignified in the air that invaded the void. There is a special substance mixed in this area. Yingying, try to get in touch with our people first. The gathering of the two armies should be enough to become a strong force. The radiance of holy flames surged up from Xiao Yan's body, instantly sweeping away the filthy evil power in this area. Mu Yingying nodded slightly, then closed her eyes and looked for the traces left by the old man with white bones, using some imprinting methods unique to the endless fire territory. Ghost Ji Yi, why are you so late? Everyone stayed on the ground quietly, waiting for Xiao Yan's move, and suddenly there was a dark ghost in the distance, with a certain sense of accountability. Lord Tiangi, we were ambushed in Soul Eater domain. Fortunately, Lord Xiao appeared in time to rescue Soul Eater domain, which wasted a lot of time. Gui Ji Yi grinned and then spoke. The top 10 Ghost Kings in the center of the Ghost World are also divided into strengths and weaknesses. The so-called Lord Heavenly Ghost in front of him is undoubtedly the leader who can rank among the top 3. His strength and even prestige make people dormant. The strength of the quadruple reincarnation is also enough to form such a proud spirit. Is this the Lord of Endless Fire Territory? When I saw it today, it was really extraordinary. The Deputy World Lord and the generals are already waiting at Li Hun Mountain. As long as your army of Soul Eater arrives, we can discuss the big plan together. To discuss many matters of the seventh evil asterisk outside the territory. Lord Xiao Yu, please come here. Tian Gui smiled and looked at Xiao Yan, waiting for Xiao Yan to be the last person. Many powerhouses gathered in Li Soul domain. This is already the best effort that their 10 Ghost Kings can do. The rest is controlled by the Deputy World Master and others. Wang Buzz. Just when Xiao Yan was about to follow the latter's move, the sacred text of the Thunder Emperor, which had always been a little quiet, released one after another ferocious and terrifying thunder, which continuously impacted Xiao Yan's soul realm and the spiritual palace. It seems that he wants to drag Xiao Yan's body towards the void somewhere. Bang! Violent thunder energy, like gray lightning dots gushing out from Xiao Yan's body, the low roar resounding through the heavens and the earth actually caused the heavenly Ghost King and Ghost Ji Yi to shrink slightly. This kind of power is really too powerful. Xiao Yan, are you okay? The beautiful eyes of the two women flowed, and a hint of vigilance emerged spontaneously, and the majestic power of reincarnation began to beat slowly. Ying Yunner, the two armies have gathered, and everything here is handed over to you. I have something important to do. Let's go first. After Xiao Yan finished speaking, his entire body swept into the void like lightning, and seemed to be flying towards the depths of Li Soul territory. The wave of destruction released by the Thunder Emperor's tome is clearly a distress signal. There are probably only two people in the entire Great Thousand World that can resonate or even cause such strange fluctuations in the Lei Di canon in Xiao Yan's body. Thunder Lord, and Du Qifei, who has the reincarnation seal of Thunder Lord, after reincarnation. These two powers seem to be suffering from this unprecedented crisis now? That kind of crisis unexpectedly caused such violent fluctuations in the Lei Di canon. Latest URL. Note: if you see that the content of this chapter is the content of anti-theft error, the book is broken, etc., please log in right pointing arrow. Continuing from the previous episode 2537. Xiao Yan's departure, of course, made the Heavenly Ghost King and the Ghost Princess Yu look a little awkward, but after Yuan Yan showed his strength, he could only laugh with them. After all, Yuan Yan's strength has actually reached the 5th level of reincarnation? This kind of strength, but not too much with the Deputy World Lord. But they naturally didn't know that Yuan Yan's current strength has reached the real 5-fold reincarnation level, and with the Taiji Heavenly Emperor Sword, even if it is alone to deal with the 7th evil spirit, it is not impossible. However, the 7th evil asterisk was cunning, so Xiao Yan naturally felt uneasy about letting his daughter fight alone. At this point, Mu Yingying brought the army together with the old man with white bones, and got closer to the 5 major courtyards. As for Yuan Yan, she followed the two Ghost Kings indifferently towards the meeting. Those meetings were naturally presided over by Gui Yinya, who is now the Deputy World Leader of the Center of the Ghost World, who is at the peak of the 5-layer reincarnation. The number is also not to be underestimated. In addition to the army of ghosts brought by many regions, such a lineup can be described as extremely large. Wang Buzz. Xiao Yan has overcome thorns and thorns along the way. No matter what kind of powerful evil monsters he encounters, under the sacred purification of the power of holy flames, they will be destroyed with a bang, but in order not to disturb the army of the evil tribes outside the territory, Xiao Yan still moves forward with extreme caution. His purpose is not to find and save the Lei Lord and the two people from the evil tribe outside the territory. What's the matter? What if Li Soul territory has completely fallen? Why are Lei Ju and Du Qifei facing such a terrifying crisis? On the way, Xiao Yan, who was constantly wandering in the void, had a solemn expression on his face, thinking about the current situation of Li Hanyu. I am afraid that only the 7th evil asterisk can push the two of Leiju to a desperate situation. However, the power of heaven and earth, such as the Thunder Lord, can never be limited to the ordinary 6-fold reincarnation level. What is going on? Is it being plotted against, or has the strength never recovered? Hey, what is this? After Xiao Yan left the void of the 5 great courts and appeared in a sticky sea of demons, he shrank sharply and seemed to see a pure land hidden in the sea of demons. It was a green halo of life. The halo was like some ancient formation. It seemed to be sheltering and guarding something. The power of the formation? In the viscous sea of demons, many ferocious auras seemed to have discovered Xiao Yan's traces, and the sea of demons rolled out, trying to launch the strongest attack on Xiao Yan. Who? Bang! At the same time, Yuan Yan, who had been quietly entrenched in the center of the altar of the 4 gods' temple, was shaking violently with his spiritual power. He was actually aware of an inexplicable powerful force, and he was exploring the ancient formation of life little by little. That kind of power is not like the power of the evil clan outside the territory, but now that Li Soul territory is alive and dead, Yuan Yan will naturally not allow the latter to act like this. Hoo. It's okay. Rinse. When Xiao Yan confirmed that the pure land sheltered by the ancient formation below was the shrine of the headquarters of Li Hanyu, he also breathed a long sigh of relief. Since Li Hanyu Temple has not completely fallen, he can safely rescue the 2 lay masters, which is also good news. The body surging, swept directly in the direction of the Thunder Emperor's sacred text. What a strange power. It seems to be a battle formation master? After Xiao Yan's departure, the entire Demon Sea and the ancient life formation returned to quiet at the same time, but Yuan Yan couldn't help but feel a bit of bitterness on his small face. The fluctuation of the level just now was on a par with him. After rolling along the sea of magic for a while, Xiao Yan's vision suddenly became illusory. This is a place of nothingness that is full of countless ancient mysterious prohibitions, and I don't know how long it has existed. The band set up by the Thunder Lord? But now it's been destroyed. Xiao Yan's eyes narrowed slightly, and he looked along this void space, and saw a piece of low thunder sound coming from the depths of the void space, all of which were caused by the sight of a dark void like an abyss. Thunder, powerful prohibition, and a trace of extremely weak, but it contains a heart-pounding evil force. Several forces sounded from the void space at the same time, with a huge momentum. Go in and have a look. I hope you can catch up. Xiao Yan's figure floated in the air, summoning the Thunder Emperor's scripture to open the way for him, and the power of soul, holy flame and other powers were displayed for a while. However, the void space here is not eroded by the monstrous sea of demons. So weird. Just after advancing some distance, I suddenly looked at an ugly-looking man sitting cross-legged in a void. This man, full of ghosts and evil forces, was constantly circling. He was dressed in armor and looked like a general. Master of the West Temple? Xiao Yan exclaimed, and with his vague memory, he suddenly remembered. Sir, go to the center of Lei Yuan Ghost Domain. There is something wrong with them under the crown of Lord Lei. On the latter's body, large and small bloodshot evil forces constantly eroded his mind, but when he saw the thin man in front of him recognize him, he was shocked and hurriedly called for help. Temporarily suppressed this power, Xiao Yan directly threw down a ball of Christmas flames, protecting the latter's mind from being eroded, and then the speed skyrocketed, roaring frantically like a giant dragon. During the time of its rapid movement, the source of holy flame in the body, and even the golden dragon shadow poured from the blood of the golden dragon king, released a touch of unparalleled hostility together. In the depths of this thunder abyss ghost realm, there must be the seventh evil god. Along the way, with the guidance of the Thunder Emperor's cannon, Xiao Yan didn't waste too much time. The surrounding thunder restrictions and the fluctuations of evil forces could not hinder Xiao Yan at all. The area of the Lei Yuan Ghost Realm was extremely large, and it seemed to be a special space independent of the Ghost Realm. At Xiao Yan's speed, it appeared in the depths after only 5 minutes. Pieces of Leyland flickering with silver thunder lights appeared in Xiao Yan's line of sight, and even in the center of Leyland, there was an isolated island suspended in it. At this time, in the isolated island, the thick black smoke is like Senluo hell, surrounding it. Arrive. Hold on. Although I saw the crisis in the depths, the restrictions here were too strange. All the space forces were instantly disabled, and Xiao Yan had to pass through Leyland to reach the isolated island. Hoo, Lei Lord, why are you hiding here? It's time to settle the grievances between us. In an instant, a faint voice slowly gushed out from the thick black smoke. At the moment when this voice was transmitted, all the power in Xiao Yan's body boiled. This kind of fluctuation predicts that the figure hidden in the black smoke is the seventh evil asterisk of the foreign evil race, the seven-eyed evil god. This time, it is no longer an energy clone, but the real heresy. But at the same time, the power of Xiao Yan's bloodline, which had always been quiet, gradually became hot, even crazy, especially the bloodline of the devil. Latest URL. Note: if you see that the content of this chapter is the content of anti-theft error, the book is broken, etc., please log in right pointing arrow. Continuing from the previous episode 2538. Humph. Just a bunch of rotten ants. If the master is completely reincarnated, killing you will be as effortless as pinching an ant. The area of the isolated island is not small, but at this time, it is sheltered by the gray pillars of thunder, which are tightly shrouded, and an arrogant and unrestrained cold female voice gushed from it. The tone is arrogant, like the oldest king in the world, and the majesty is suffocating. As expected of the overlord of heaven and earth, Lord Lei. It's a pity. Today, this thunder abyss ghost territory is your burial place. King He Ju, set up a formation. A sarcastic voice came from the black smoke, and the power around the entire Leyland Island was evaporated like steam. Suddenly, countless gloomy black air appeared. At the moment when these gloomy black air appeared, the temperature of the breath in the whole world suddenly dropped. The seventh evil god and the Highway King half-evil god. Boom! When these black chi were arranged in some mysterious way and were about to cover the island, an invisible attack quietly hit it, temporarily blocking the spread of black chi. That is soul power, and it is still at the level of the immortal ascension boundary. Your Majesty, are you all right? Yuan Chi appeared around the island with a middle-aged man with a gloomy complexion, and hurriedly asked the inside. Yuan Chi, what are you doing here? Why not strictly guard the 4 temples? Listening to the appearance of Yuan Chi's voice, there was an astonishing anger in the isolated island. Is there another group of people to die? It was a touching scene. Peefed. Black smoke surged, and a huge creature slowly gushed out from it. It looked like a rotten black pillar. In a short time, the master of the North Temple beside Yuan Chi instantly turned into flesh and blood. And open. As for Yuan Chi, naturally there is no time to escape, and he is bound by it together. The 7th evil asterisk was hidden in the black smoke, and the pitch-black magic pillars swayed constantly, completely shrouding the isolated island in the depths of Leyland. Teacher, what should I do now? In the isolated island, dazzling silver thunder and gray thunder continued to surround, and it turned out to form an extremely ancient thunder formation on the ground. At this moment, 2 figures like fairies in the painting appeared here with solemn expressions. One was wearing a silver rue skirt and looked Yan Ting, but his lips and teeth were lightly parted, obviously worried about something. The other one is wearing a light gray long dress, and her slender body is matched with a thin gauze dress, like an immortal who doesn't care about the world. In her calm and delicate face, there seems to be a coexistence of sadness and arrogance. Such 2 people, looking at them at will, can actually feel a huge suppressive breath from their side. It seems that the survival of this world is only between one thought. That is the pride of being in a high position for a long time, and it is also the incomparable confidence in one's own strength. Innate, it cannot be concealed, nor can it be concealed. Although the power of the 7th evil asterisk is not strong, there seems to be some terrifying evil thing in his hands. Now I have not completely succeeded in reincarnation, and I can't compete with him for the time being. And during the war that day, the guy who defeated you was very powerful. I suspect that he was the powerhouse in the center of the ghost world. At least at the level of the Deputy World Master. The Thunder Lord's gray pupils flickered slightly, containing a touch of anger, and there was some anger in his voice. Teacher, I'm sorry. It's all my fault for triggering samsara in advance to wake you up early. Listening to the words of Lei Zhu, Du Qifei's heart suddenly became a little heavy. That day, the 7th evil asterisk led the army to attack the headquarters of Li Hunyu, and the entire Sifang Temple was about to fall. Then, in order to draw away the elite army of the 7th evil god, their master and apprentice took the lead to fight against the 7th evil god. In that war, in addition to King Heiju, the half-evil god, there seemed to be quite a few other powerhouses, and those guys' strength was not inferior to that of the half-evil god. After the defeat, the master and the apprentice came here in secret, trying to use the power of thunder here to fill the reincarnation little by little and restore their strength. Teacher, is the Shao family really that abominable? But during the quiet time before, I got along with the 5 major Yamas of the Shao family. I don't think so. After a moment's pause, Du Qifei bit her silver teeth slightly, puffed up her feet and asked Lei Master. Shao clan. It's really a nostalgic word. If this time, the danger can be saved, the master will naturally find the hiding places of the immortals of the Shao clan, refine them into thunder slaves, and obey me forever. Ha ha ha. Du Qifei's remarks changed the temperament of the always calm Lei Master. The corners of his mouth were hideous, and the gray thunder in his eyes was replaced by a murderous power. Looking at this, Lei Zhu seems to have an undeniable feud with the Shao family? Teacher, I'm sorry, but what should I do now? Du Qifei spoke again, and his voice was filled with an extremely serious tone. This thunder formation can gather countless thunder powers in the Thunder Abyss Ghost territory, and it should allow your power to completely break through to the 6th reincarnation level. In the meantime, I'll go out and buy enough time for you. The rest is up to you. Leiju said with a gloomy face. Her beautiful face was actually slightly bleak at this time. Obviously the power of the seventh evil asterisk and the strange evil soldiers made her feel very difficult now. The power of the reincarnation seal is enough to equalize the power of the two at the same time, but this method of flooding itself with the power of thunder for a short period of time cannot act on the reincarnation seal. As for the strength of the two, now they are both at the peak of the fifth layer reincarnation. No, teacher. I'm going, you stay here. The seventh evil god is cunning and cunning. With my strength and combat experience alone, I can't deal with him. Listening to her teacher's words, Btth2 shook her head suddenly and rejected him. But, teacher, hurry up. Oh, you girl. A faint voice sounded, and pieces of silver thunder, as if they had been summoned by some kind, turned out to be poured into the thunder array continuously. With the unique means of the Thunder Master, a violent thunder that surpassed the sky and the earth slowly gathered. Tick-tock, let them go. Pieces of thunder and light were dripping like raindrops, and Btth's figure slowly emerged from the island. His expression was indifferent, but his tone was very flat. Domain owner? Yuan Yan and the weak soul body of the Lord of the North Temple saw this. Their eyes narrowed slightly, and they exclaimed when they looked at Btth, whose breath was not stable. The Lord of Li's Soul Realm. Life is really hard enough. That guy didn't completely obliterate you, it seems that he still has a hand. King Heiju stepped out, and the majestic evil force suppressed the aura of the two around him. The power of this Heiju Wang is too strange. Those guys are the powerhouses in the center of the ghost world? The pinnacle of the center of the dignified ghost world will actually be reduced to the point of complicity with the evil races outside the territory. It's really ridiculous. Btth's beautiful eyes were filled with an invisible thunder, like a wild beast about to explode. Why are you talking about me here again? Let Lord Lei come out. Otherwise, Li Hunyu will be completely bloodbathed by us. The seven-eyed evil asterisk is different from other evil gods. If you choose to surrender completely, we can give you eternal life. King Heiju opened his mouth slightly, as if he was not in a hurry at all. Do you live forever in a dark and rotten area? Fight. In the face of this guy's words, Btth laughed at himself, an ancient and vast gray thunderbolt in his body, as if crossing the barriers of time and space, flying from the distant shore. Latest URL. Note: if you see that the content of this chapter is the content of anti-theft error, the book is broken, etc., please log in right pointing arrow. Continuing from the previous episode 2539. Your talent and posture are the best choice in the world. Why should you sacrifice your bright future in vain to protect this group of humans who are greedy for life and fear of death? The whole body of Heiju Wang, thick black smoke continued to rise and spread, and he opened his mouth to Btth in an indifferent tone. Eye of lay contempt. Btth smiled. Her gray eyes were like a hot star that never went out, with an extremely surging thunder flame, shining from the top of the void space and falling. Atop immortal art with thunder attributes? Boom! Immediately, a gray eye, and a black beam of light, like two ferocious demon gods, spread out in Leyland's void, and a terrifying wave of destruction spread out. That terrifying monstrous momentum turned out to be the seven-eyed evil asterisk who was hidden in the black smoke, his eyes slightly wrinkled. This girl seems to have some kind of extremely powerful power in her body. What is it? In the sky, two attacks raged mercilessly, and the gray eyes instantly turned into a gray energy mask, covering Btth, but due to the erosion of countless black light beams around, one after another cracks slowly spread from it. The slight cracking sound caused cold sweat to fall on the foreheads of Yuan Yan and the North God Temple Master. The strength of the Domain Lord and the half-evil asterisk in front of him are both at the peak of the fifth layer reincarnation, but the current Domain Lord's strength seems to be greatly reduced. Ha ha ha. Forging Domain Master. In the previous battle, haven't your injuries healed yet? Heiju Wang's face was gloomy, and he laughed wildly with a gloomy face. The thick and shaking black mist all over his body was like a greedy and bloodthirsty evil spirit, blooming with endless fierce power. Is that the only thing I can use? But the strength has not reached the sixth reincarnation level, and there is no certainty of victory at all. Seeing that his attack was slowly approaching bleak, Btth's eyebrows swayed, and a touch of sadness poured into his heart. With the passage of time, in the entire Thunder Abyss ghost territory, there are actually countless thunderbolts and the power of heaven and earth, slowly converging towards Lei Dao, as if there is a Thunder King of heaven and earth, which is slowly transforming and growing. Gulu, Duqife? In the distance, a thin black figure who was about to approach the battle circle suddenly roared with a slightly unpleasant look. King Heiju, can't delay any longer. Once the Thundermaster is allowed to regain some strength, our plan will only be in vain. If that kind of situation spreads back to the outside world, I'm afraid we will all die without a place to be buried. Immediately, feeling such a violent thunder force from the sky and the earth began to gather, the evil asterisk in the black smoke roared. I really can't bear to obliterate such a beautiful woman. But it's over here. Hey Wazoo, all evils return to the law. Just as the voice of King Heiju fell, the light of the whole world suddenly dimmed, and the black air quickly dissipated. Domain Lord. Countless black energy seems to be ignoring the thunder defense of Duqifei's body, and it actually penetrated into the latter's delicate body little by little. The spread of every strand of black energy actually caused Duqifei's skin to release an unprecedented fear, and her delicate body suddenly shrank when touched by it, as if there was some kind of destruction that could threaten her life in the black energy. Strength. Teacher. Bless me. Looking at the fierce killing intent of King Heiju, a poignant smile appeared on Duqifei's poignant face, and the eyebrows slowly flickered, inspired by the reincarnation seal, and a touch of ancient aura slowly came out. That kind of fluctuation, it seems to have the taste of some artifact. Forbidden Temple. And just when Duqifei was about to go all out, a majestic cold humming voice, like the divine voice of a monstrous demon, suddenly resounded. Xiao Yan appeared, standing quietly on the edge of Leyland. His eyes were cold, looking at the scene in front of him that was completely enveloped by the evil atmosphere. He took a deep breath, then raised his wrist and gently waved his sleeve. I saw the orange-gold flame in his body swept out like a crescent moon, and immediately turned into a huge portal palace around Duqifei's delicate body. In the portal palace, the whole body is filled with an ancient sacred flame fluctuation. It seems that the evil power of this world cannot shake this portal palace. Bang! King Heiju attacked with great confidence, and fell fiercely on the top of the taboo, and there were countless humming sounds. Immediately, the orange-gold flame suddenly fell off the top of the portal, facing the countless black people in this world. Blast away. For a time, in the originally dark and dead Leyland void, countless evil energies were like moths to a fire, and they were easily destroyed in the Forbidden Temple. The Forbidden Temple, ancient and peaceful shelters Duqifei. Xiao Yan? At this moment, whether it was Yun Qi or the seventh evil asterisk hidden in the black smoke, they spoke at the same time, and the voice was full of surprise and endless joy. Fortunately we caught up. Xiao Yan stared at King Heiju with cold and fierce eyes, and easily rescued Yun Qi and the two. Your Majesty, how is it now? Heiju Wang's eyes were slightly gloomy. Xiao Yan's illustrious name has long been spread outside the entire domain. The endless majesty of the seven holy flames and Fenju has extremely tyrannical suppression for their evil power. It seems that the evil spiders and demon spiders also failed. A very calm voice came from the black smoke, and an icy gaze kept hovering over Lei Dao and Xiao Yan in front of him, as if he was weighing something. The Black King. Try it. Can you kill any of them again? Go! As soon as the voice fell, the monstrous demonic energy spread out again. This time, the demonic energy actually made Xiao Yan's breathing become dignified. Obviously, this seventh evil god's power aura was more tyrannical and strange than the ordinary half-evil god. The strength of the seventh evil asterisk is too strange. You go and deal with that half-evil god. This guy, leave it to me. Xiao Yan glanced at Duqifei, who seemed to be using some tyrannical means. The soft and pure holy flame power spread directly towards the latter's body, as if preparing to stop the latter's spellcasting. Humph! Why? Facing Xiao Yan's kindness, Duqifei's eyes instantly became red, and the tip of his nose was sour, and he became stubborn and let out a low growl. In both eyes, there is not only a faint tear, but also a touch of extreme anger. Bang! The power released by Xiao Yan was instantly dismissed by Duqifei's resistance. You! Xiao Yan frowned, looking at the two groups of evil powerhouses in front of him who were constantly tumbling and surging, his heart filled with resentment. Xiao Yan, there is no relationship between us anymore. This is our Li Hunyu business, and you don't need an outsider to intervene. Btth2 sneered, and a voice full of resentment resounded deeply. Domain owner? Forget it. It's their own business. Let them solve it themselves. Yun Qi and the master of the North Temple could only quietly retreat to the side, constantly exerting the power of reincarnation and soul in the body, trying to decompose some offensive for the two. I came to support the ghost world on behalf of the endless fire territory, not to save you Li Soul territory. If you have any opinion on me, you can solve it after the battle. Now the enemy is now. Feeling that Btth2's expression was not quite right, Xiao Yan could only say with a stern face. Endless fire territory? What an endless fire domain. However, even if the domain master is killed in battle, he doesn't need your mercy. Especially a descendant of the Xiao family like you. The so-called Xiao clan are nothing but a group of hypocrites who are greedy for life and fear death, and go around making trouble. Ha ha ha. At this moment, Btth2 seemed to have fallen into some kind of madness. Her eyes shrank suddenly, but her beautiful face was full of hideousness. It turned out that she was ruthless towards Xiao Yan regardless of the two extremely evil powerhouses in front of her. Sneered. N. Latest URL. Note: if you see that the content of this chapter is the content of anti-theft error, the book is broken, etc., please log in right pointing arrow.